Necessary paperwork to establish state national and state citizen status by Anna von Reitz. Since the beginning of this whole rabbit chase, the goal has been to streamline the process of correcting our political status records and getting back to our original birthright status as people living on the land and soil of our country. There is a logic to it once you get your head wrapped around the fact that you have been kidnapped into a foreign jurisdiction and misidentified accidentally on purpose by your own employees. Okay, you have been misidentified as a federal citizen. One of 3 different federal citizenship statuses are possible. You are naturally none of the above. The quickest, simplest way out of this is to declare by Act of Expatriation that you are not any kind of federal, territorial or municipal United States citizen, nor citizen of the United States nor U.S. citizen. So you need a competent Act of Expatriation, signed, sealed, and witnessed. That's job 1. Okay, that declares what you are not and where you are not standing, but only coincidentally tells the world who you are and in what capacity you are acting and in which jurisdiction. Though this is referenced in the Act of Expatriation, it isn't sufficient. So, you need to formally and specifically acknowledge, accept, and reconvey your given trade name, which your parents gave you as a gift. This is the name that was seized upon and used to create all the other variations and permutations and styles of names that have been attributed to you, so you need to say, yes, this is my property, I acknowledge and accept it as mine, and I reconvey it from any presumed location at sea back to its natural and permanent domicile on the land and soil of blank, Maine, Wisconsin, Texas, etc. So that is job 2. Now that you have expatriated from the wrong political status and repatriated your trade name to the correct status, it's time to take control of all the assumed names that have been ascribed to you based on your trade name, as well as any pen names or performance names or married names you have used. You list all these various names like Marilyn Jones, Marilyn A. Jones, Marilyn Ann Jones, Jones, Marilyn, Jones, Marilyn A. Jones, Marilyn Ann, Marilyn Jones, Marilyn A. Jones, Marilyn Ann Jones, Marilyn Logan, married name, Marilyn A. Logan, married name, Marilyn Ann Logan, married name, and so on. Plus, if you have other names you use as pen names or as performer names, you will want to add those as well as a general claim to all variations, permutations, punctuation variations, orderings, fonts or styles of my name and names associated with me in any way whatsoever as part of your certificate of assumed name. That is job 3. So, you have expatriated, repatriated your trade name, and now, you have claimed and reflagged and permanently domiciled all the various assumed names on the land and soil of your state too. This puts you and all your assets back on the land and soil, and it permanently domiciles all the assumed names on the land and soil, too. They may go out on the Sea of International Trade or the Sea of Commerce again, but they have to be recognized as vessels belonging to an American, not a U.S. citizen of some undeclared kind. All of this is necessary because you have lived your whole life since babyhood under a false legal presumption and your trade name was never properly recorded as an American state national when you were a child. Nobody told your parents that this was necessary, so they didn't do it. Not only that, but undeclared federal agents acting as scavengers deliberately misidentified you as a federal citizen and got your mother to sign undisclosed and deceitful paperwork agreeing to this. So this is not just a matter of something important being left undone, it's a matter of correcting a record that shouldn't exist, a registration which serves to defraud you and cheat you out of your natural birthright and inheritance as an American. These 3 steps need to be done, and these 3 records, 1. Expatriation, 2. Repatriation, 3. Certificate of assumed names, need to be established on the International Land Record via a land recording office. Any land recording office will do. This is your evidence established as of the day of your recording it, that you are an American and operating in the capacity of an American, not a U.S. citizen. Obviously, the earlier you do this in life, the better. Obviously, too, the current practices forcing mothers to sign inappropriate false registration documents upon leaving hospitals needs to cease. These steps evidence your return to your birthright political status, even though most of us never dreamed of leaving in the first place. These records also record your claim to have and enjoy your assets as private assets belonging to you and under your control, and also your declaration that you are owed your natural and unalienable rights and all constitutional guarantees. We cannot easily understand why any American in their right mind would neglect doing this and leave themselves or their children open to having their estate administered and pillaged and prosecuted by foreign interests. It's a few pieces of paper, and the work of hammering out the basic verbiage has already been done for you and made available to you free of charge at www.annavonreitz.com, Article 928. Recording these 3 records establishes your claim to your good name and your public and private property assets, including your natural and unalienable rights and your constitutional guarantees, but ironically enough, they do not prove who you are. That is, someone named, for example, Joseph Allen Bell, made a claim, but for court and state jural assembly purposes, you will additionally need to prove that you are that Joseph Allen Bell and that you were born at the time, date, place and parentage shown on the birth certificate that was issued in your name. Some names are very common, and this necessitates this additional paper chase. In addition to the 3 recorded declarations described above, you will need to have in your possession, 1. A certified or preferably authenticated copy of the birth certificate that was issued to you, 2. Signed and witnessed testimony of 2 credible witnesses having first-hand knowledge of you and your family, who are reasonably able to confirm where and when you were born. The birth certificate is a private document and does not get recorded. Its only use in this regard is to prove that a baby with your name was born at such and such a place within the borders of an American state. The testimony of the 2 witnesses can be recorded or not. I prefer to record this testimony along with the first 3 pieces so that it can't be lost or misplaced. This is especially recommended as you get older and fewer friends and family members remain who can affirm that you are you and that you were born in an American state. If you are claiming American state national or American state citizen political status, you need all 6 of these records, the first 3 for the correction of the existing registration record, and the second 3 for confirmation of your identity and place of birth. State nationals and state citizens can participate freely in the state jural assemblies. If they own land within the borders of the state where they are living, they can also serve as state electors. If you are, in spite of everything we have told you, still obligated or inclined to remain in the political status of some kind of U.S. citizen, for example, you are directly employed by the federal government or in U.S. military service, you should still complete and compile all but the Act of Expatriation, and record the repatriation of your trade name and certificate of assumed names for your own protection and the protection of your children. United States citizens, citizens of the United States, and even U.S. citizens can still serve as a member of a state jural society for your federal state of state and vote in federal elections. State nationals and state citizens are precluded from participating in federal elections at this time, because our federal states of states are not in operation yet, pending reconstruction. United States citizens, citizens of the United States, and U.S. citizens are precluded from participating in actual state elections and can only participate in state-of-state elections. This is because while the federal entities allow dual citizenship, the states of the Union do not. America needs help from both sides of the fence, from people acting as state nationals and state citizens, and persons acting in the capacity of federal citizens, too. Nobody is being left out and everybody can serve, but at the same time, to assure that our actions and words hold water and that our respective jural bodies have correct standing, it is necessary to decide whether you are a state national, state citizen and belong serving on a state jural assembly, or a federal, U.S. citizen who naturally belongs to a state-of-state jural society. Retirees, please note that leaving the political status of a U.S. citizen after you retire has no adverse impact on what you are owed from any federal employer or program like Social Security or Medicare, regardless of whether you were a federal civilian employee or federal military employee or not. You simply gain back your rights and freedoms for which you have struggled and sacrificed, and regain control of your private property assets by reclaiming your birthright political status. There are considerable advantages to being a state national or state citizen, and it is very well worth the small trouble it takes to reclaim and record your proper political status. It is also very necessary for the peaceful survival of this country that at least a good many of us who are eligible to populate our states as state nationals and as state citizens get busy rechartering and reconstructing our federal states of states and restoring the government we are owed, upholding the public law, and enforcing the federal Constitution. I am sorry that some people are ranting and raving about the inconvenience of having to declare their political status on paper, but anyone who doesn't do so is suspect. Why not declare your political status loud and clear? I have. My husband has. My son has. Most of my family has. Most of my friends have also. We are proud to be Americans and determined to be respected as such. Most of us serve the neglected but crucially important American government in one capacity or another, and by doing so we preserve what our forefathers fought and died for. We do not propose to be overrun by some slick-talking, predatory foreign corporations in the business of providing governmental services, even if some of those corporations are in the business of providing military services. Most of us or our spouses served in the U.S. military too, and bore the brunt of functioning as U.S. citizens during extended tours of duty here and abroad. Any idea that we don't understand military issues or don't value military service needs to be promptly dispensed with, along with the name-calling, false accusations and other mindless idiocy. There are some people who feel threatened by the states being assembled and by the prospect of having our American government back up and fully functioning again. There is no very clear reason for this, except perhaps some guilty consciences, some criminals afraid of consequences, or gluttons who fear that their gravy train will be at an end. We literally can't afford to be too concerned about their druthers. Please hit subscribe, like, share, embed, and get ready for many more Anna von Reitz videos.